Hey, welcome back everyone. I know the original plan was for the wrap up, but I figured it'd kind of make more sense to do that on the last day of the year than a couple days before the last day of the year. So instead, we're going to talk about Welstra because I got his new card in, which is a really big game changer for the deck, and we'll just get right on into it. So we got the ride line. You got the Warden, you got the Strasser, you got the Uber, and you got the Welstra, the Divine Welstra. Nothing's really changed here because the ride line's still really good for the deck. One of the first changes you will see though is we are on only two copies of Persona Ride, and then we have the Twin Cast. So the thing about the Persona Ride is off of Freiheit, it's searchable. So we technically don't need to play all three copies. And also there's the fact that there's a lot of pieces that you want to fit into this deck at max copies, or at least I personally would. So cutting down on the Persona Ride is kind of where I'm at. And then Twin Cast just to give a little more defense so we don't die right away. Fire Gals is also a good card, but we're going to just stick with the Twin Cast for now. And onto the order cards. A little bit of a different ratio. I'm running 3 Oriente and 2 maximum. So I used to be running 2 of this and 3 of this. It's kind of more important to keep energy charging, just so if you hit something like a double of the grade 1, so you can do Energy Blast 4 and still have 2 to spend for your Vanguard's ability, the Energy Blast 2 to operate something. That's kind of the whole idea, is we want to optimize how hard we are hitting. Also, I have played a couple games where I've damage checked both copies of these, and I'm kind of tired of that. So swapped it out. Hopefully this fixes my bad luck with it. And then the last ones we have 3 Lubetzel. This feels like a crime, but we needed some space somewhere, so we cut one of the Lubetzels, and we still have the one dog. It's good discard fodder, so it's not. Also, you need something for when you go for first because you can only search out a grade 1 product. Moving on to the grade 2s, we'll talk about good old faithful. We'll talk about Freiheit real quick. You still have to play 4 copies of this card, even though he doesn't have Blitz in the name, which is very awkward for the new card, but it's fine because when you see one of these, you feel like you're a game winner. And then 4 copies of the new card. I think it's like Heldnat or something, or Eldonat. He's got 2 really good abilities. So the first is on play, you get to counterblast 1, look at top 7 and find a product card and a card with Blitz in its name and add them to hand. So this can also grab you your Persona rides, which is really nice. But you can search out things like the card that on discard can either counter charge or energy charge. It can search you out your Fenrita, which can reduce your cost to maximum. It could search you out even your extra battle phase operate ability, which we don't play many of. So it's really nice to have. But the other ability uh, also adds a really cool dimension to the deck, which is you can discard 1 card from your hand, and you get to take a order card for your drop zone and just throw it into the order zone, but you can't play orders for the rest of the turn. Now, mind you, I believe you can still set off of Freiheit, but you definitely can't play from hand, which is fine. But this is really cool because you used to have to use or call this search your deck for your second maximum and set it to the order zone. Now, if you like draw one early, you can discard it, and then this will be able to just set it to the order zone without paying the counterblast. And not to mention, she gets called back when you discard her. This goes to soul energy charges or counter charges. Like it adds an extra discard outlet for the cards that do want a discard, which is really nice. So I think it's a pretty good game changer. And then the rest of the grade ones, not much has changed here. We're still playing 4 Fenrita. This card's really good. 4 copies of, I think, Stills is his name. just our counter charge energy charge, and 2 copies of Varnest. We don't really need more than 2 copies. You kind of only want to see it for your divine turn, just to deal to have the extra maximum operate when you swing with Welstra. But also putting cards from back to the bottom of your deck or to soul is really nice. And 4 perfect guards. I mean, you got to play 4 perfect guards, you know. That's it. And then the last big change to this deck is going to be the triggers. So we're still playing Elder Breath. It just feels kind of free that you can like sack this and for the like almost always like kill your opponent if they don't guard it. Uh, but blue OT is also a pretty good option for this deck, I think. But 4 regular crits and then 4 soul fronts. So the deck burns through a lot of soul because your main operator during the battle phase is going to be Freiheit, which is a soul blast 2. So it's really nice to have the extra soul where you can get it. Not to mention we are in a format where prison exists, meaning if you run into it, they're going to strip all of your soul away. You don't really have the resources to do your stuff. It's just not, it's kind of you have to take this countermeasure, which is really unfortunate, but it's kind of important for the deck. And then lastly, 3 draws, 3 company squirrel. Not a lot to say there, you know. Uh, but yeah, I think for now, unless like the prison deck like gets like I don't even know how to put it like is just not relevant enough. Which I know some people say it's already not relevant enough, but it does mess with how this deck plays. So it needs to be on like Eugene levels, you know, where like you're like, okay, I'm not ever going to see this at an event, so I don't have to worry about it. But that's the only like that's one of the big reasons that we have to keep that in there. And yeah, that is it for the profile. Nothing super crazy, but the new card really does add a really big power swing to the deck in terms of you're able to find your pieces earlier. Uh, you can call it just to get like some early game aggro, which is really nice. Uh, it's just overall a really nice addition to the deck, and I hope that the next time they choose to support this deck, they do something like give us Freiheit, but literally just add Blitz to his name. If they do that, this deck is insane. At least in my opinion, I think it's insanely good. But yeah, that's it for this one. I appreciate you guys for listening, and I'm gonna catch you all in the next video. Peace.